Hello everybody and welcome back to today's episode of What is Civilization Started Over. And in this episode, in the next 5 episodes, something very big is going to be happening. And it might delay some stuff that's been happening in the world recently. So let's go ahead and just get into it right now. We're going to start off in South America once again. Recently there was a discovery down here. And it is a mega project, sort of similar to Project Dominate, but the plan varies a little bit. You'll have to see what Project Dominate is. But now let's look at the main event in the video. If you look down to layers, you might see there's something called the plague, which will be happening today. It will start in Germany, the northern Germany area, and that's where the plague will start. So this is going to be the main event in the next 5 episodes probably. Let's get into it. It basically just goes around like this. There aren't really many symptoms. So it'll just spread all through Denmark and Copenhagen into Norway and Sweden and the Nordic Union. Then it goes into the water and into Prussia and into Estonia eventually. And it goes throughout the capital. And by this time, there are some symptoms now. And it's around this time. And all the Baltic Sea is like, we're going to say it's infected. The water's not infected, but any people who've gone over it are infected. And this is what the plague looks like right now. So compared to all of it, plague to real life, plague to the world map, it's a pretty big difference. And this plague is growing. Within the first week, it probably gets this big. And it's already taken 3 capitals, technically. It's not like a country, but like, the infection is there. And no one can stop it. No one at all. So it goes through this country over here, the red country, and it'll start leaking in this way until the first country that's fully infected is Estonia. And at the same time, it goes into the current Russian state, and it goes down into the Prussian capital, and all around into this little lavender country, down into here, all throughout. A very big detail of this is people are finally starting to see, and it's killing off like half of these guys' population. Well, so far it hasn't killed that much, but it'll get there, trust me. And it'll just keep going. And it goes, and it keeps going. They literally just can't stop it. So, plague has taken over a good part of Europe. By the time, though, it gets into England, via transportation, and it'll just surround England, basically. And it'll leak on to the capital of France. Ireland will be able to close their borders fast enough, though. So it doesn't leak onto Ireland. They don't let anybody get to Ireland. But it will leak to everywhere else, basically. And it'll go to the, I forget the name of these islands, but it will leak to there, and it leaks to Iceland. They do get Greenland safe, though. No one's really going to Greenland. And this is what it looks like now. And people are starting to close their borders. Italy and Spain, they weren't able to close their borders in time, though. And the purple team as well. They aren't able to close their borders. So it's just leaking through. They do hold it off from like the main areas of their countries. And it'll leak into the green team a little bit. As for over here, it's just going to keep leaking through. And I will say, this does put Project Dominate and stuff like that, they're delayed by a good long time, especially on the Galapagos project. But yeah, we're just going to continue looking at this. This capital, they're kind of being encircled. They're able to hold it out for the most part, because there isn't really anybody coming to their capital. But all of the Norwegian Union is taken over by this. And eventually the capital will fall. Yeah, and then it just keeps going. So far, it is only in Europe. But we have to count for plane flights. There weren't too many of these. There was one main one, however. And that flight, there were about 4 main flights. One in Iceland, which led over to Greenland. And it made a stop there, so Greenland has been affected. I mean, there's not really much living in the north, so there's not going to be anything up there. But after it stopped, it made its way down, or made its way up into these islands up here. And it even makes its way into the purple team, taking the capital. Or the infection does. The plane flight does not. But by this time, Canada has closed off their borders. It's not going to reach into Canada. Which is good. But it will continue everywhere up here. To the people who are living here. We're just gonna say that they're gone. I don't know who would be living here. But yeah, there we go. Especially for the purple team, this is very deadly to them. This is not gonna be good. So the infection keeps spreading, and this plague is getting very bad because it's reached to 2 continents now. Somewhere else, there's also another flight, though. And this flight was headed out. It's from the Russian capital, and it goes all the way this way. All the way into this red team. And it'll stop here, and yeah, the infection just grows into all these countries. So that's the next major flight. The gray country wasn't able to keep out the borders. And this pink country isn't either. And all the people inside fall to the infection. Meanwhile, on this kind of front area, it's just being taken over and there's nothing they can do. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next part, the next flight of this infection. The next flight heads out from France and the capital, and it's going to go all the way across the ocean once again until finally landing in Canada. You can't really see the color on the line theme. So over here, I'm just going to make it darker. Just like that. This should be better. Anyway, they're going to continue, the infection will continue up, getting to the border of America. Luckily for America, they did close off their borders, so they're gonna be completely fine. And it'll just continue down like this. It'll get very close to their capital eventually, but they are able to hold it out from there. I want to say, Canada's economy is at all-time lows right now. After all of which just happened, they're not doing too well. They're not doing too well at all. And I think I'm gonna make, just for now, I'm gonna make, there's gonna be a gray color, which will be, that means you can't get there. Their borders are closed. So, if you have the gray color, that means your borders are closed. Thus, the infection can't spread into your country. So I'm going to go ahead and show that on all of the places that have their borders closed. I'll do that, and then I'll catch right back up with you. And there we go, it's already looking better. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll catch you later. Okay, and this white color is going to be fortified. There's a lot of information on the map right now, so let's go ahead and get started with that. We're going to go ahead. Alaska is fortified, or they just closed their borders. The blue team closed its capital borders. You can't get out of the capital now. USA, Texas, California, and Baja California, Mexico, and Venezuela have all of theirs borders closed off. This part of Venezuela is closed off. This green country right here, Argentina, and these two other Argentinian countries. In Africa, we see the lime team, the red team, the little peach team, and the yellow team right here. Northern Africa, we see the red team, the capital of the gold team, and the pink team. Spain is fortified. The orange team is fortified. Turkey is fortified. The capital of the green team and the area around the purple team is fortified. Red team's capital is fortified. Orange team and northern blue team is fortified. Farmers Union over here is fortified. Ireland is fortified. Mongolia is fortified, as well as the main Korean peninsula, as well as their Japanese claims. Japan, Mongolia, Tibet, and Bangladesh, and that's it. So that's everybody who's been fortified in the world. But now we need to keep looking at the plague. And the plague has been spreading a lot. And it's getting bad. They reach up to the U.S. border, but they're not able to. People try to get out and escape to the U.S. border, but the U.S. doesn't let them. So it ends with basically all of this country being infected, all of Canada being infected. And we're just going to use. Go back to the original code. And they also leak through into these guys. And it's just going bad everywhere. It goes into the peach team, goes around their capital because they weren't fortified and didn't close their borders. And then it snakes their way up along this border, so there's no escape now. You get infected if you go through the border. Oh, we're just gonna erase some of this. We're just gonna have to get rid of this and redraw it because it seems to not be working. Jeez. Okay. We can fix it there now. As I was saying, it reaches all the way up along this border, as well as in the capital of the peach team. And it'll just start leaking down everywhere. Eventually, the whole peach team is taken over, as well as the rest Oh, not that much. The rest of, basically, North America is, or the northern part of North America is either taken, or infected, or fortified. And it gets so bad that it leaks into the blue team. So, they finally like, oh, this is not good. So by the time the whole green team's taken, they push out with, they make a fortification. Look at the province map. We'll do it along this province area. No, we'll do it along this province area. And they fortify it all. So, the plague does get through. But there's a fortified line here. It is prone. Infections can jump. And, basically, someone was able to get across or something because they thought they were safe. And, now they've made it. They can't get through the capital city. It's very fortified. But basically, the infection line is just going to fall. Oh, we probably, maybe the racer would work better if I was on a solid color. Let's try that theory. Yep, it works fine when you have a solid color, but no. If you have something different, it wasn't going to work. Anyways, let's keep going with this. Alaska, very fortified. Doesn't get through. Technically, only the borders would be fortified, but if all their borders are fortified, then we'll just call it, we'll just let it be. And it just, basically, it's everywhere now. And they just keep leaking through. Until it gets about here. And then we're going to take a look at this area. Next episode. So, now we have the last flight. And that flight is the last flight from Canada. And it's the last one that ever came out since the infection. Because they ended up closing their borders after the infection, or like no one just travels to them. They're on like there's a list that's made by like the strongest countries. And it's made by Korea and the Red Team, and it's like you cannot enter. Countries do not enter, and it reaches down, and it hits Puerto Rico. It doesn't go to the capital, but it will spread down here. And it basically just takes over everything. It's all infected. Everywhere is infected. And it'll reach up through all the Bahamas. Puerto Rico, and they barely, but just in time, they will get fortified. They will fortify the island of Puerto Rico, but it's not enough. As eventually, someone goes out on the dam. They like swim around and like they walk the whole dam. Yes, they walk it all. Not really. There's like a drive part on top, so they just drive across. But they're infected, and they eventually reached down into Venezuela. Venezuela was not expecting this. And they get infected. And then Venezuela starts getting infected. But don't worry, that area will hold up. And then an infected person, or infect a person that does not know they're infected, anyway. They come into the equation, and they travel from all the way right here, and they start going. They make it through the Darien Gap. I know, very surprising, very unrealistic, whatever. Then they infect all the people around them. And eventually they get into Central America. And then it's over for Central America. They can't fight it. And that's going to do it for the plague in this episode. All I gotta say is good luck toward Europe, Asia, South and North America. Australia's looking fine. But, so is Africa. But, good luck. That's gonna be it for this episode. It's a short one. The really only event happened. The only event that happened was the plague. But, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.